So today I'm kind of semi-retiring the QSP Neckmuk neck knife. So it is time to do a video about it, talk about my experiences. This has been one of my favorite neck knives of all time, believe it or not. Unfortunately, it's really hard to find now. I'm pretty sure there was only one dealer in the US, I think it was White Mountain, that was selling these, but they're out of stock. This one's the green G10 version. There's also a black one. I'm not sure if there's other colors, but I know there's at least those two. It's a really simple design. It's made by QSP, that's the maker. And this was designed by my friend over in Germany, Arthur Bream. He's become my friend after he's designed this knife. Super nice guy, very knowledgeable in knives. I mean, this is someone who, every chance he gets, besides spending time with his lady and his dogs, is out there playing with knives, out in the woods, testing, using. I mean, this is a knife nut. Now, as much as I love this knife and want to continue to use it, my buddy Corey just hooked me up with a new neck knife, which I'm loving. This is the Cold Steel Mini Tack. Very cool. So we'll talk about that down the road. Anyway, going back to this knife, these sold for $40 when they're available. Again, I'm pretty sure there's only one dealer in the US who had them. They're out of stock now. You can probably find these on eBay for about the same price, about 40 bucks or so. It's a shame because this is such an awesome design. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is just the way it looks, all right? This is called the Neckmuk because it's a neck style knife. It's a small neck knife, dedicated sheath for that. Did come with the ball and chain. And it has a Neckmuk style blade, okay? So that's where the name comes from. Neckmuk blades are very popular in bushcraft stuff. Something when I first showed this that a lot of people point out is it kind of looks like a minimalist and it kind of looks like a LeDuc. Now, I did have a long discussion with Arthur about this design, and he came up with this a very long time before the minimalist was a thing, before the LeDuc was a thing. Great minds think alike. And there's so many knives on this planet, it's hard not to make something that looks like something else. So, I mean, the automatic assumption for some people might be, oh, maybe he liked those knives and kind of, you know, mushed them together and created a new knife, and it's just not the case. He's a stand-up guy. There's no reason for me not to believe him. He is 100% all the time. And, you know, I do believe that he came up with a design way before someone else did. Now, I want to tell you guys a short story where it pertains to me specifically with knife designs and it being used by multiple people, right? The same idea may not be original. So when I came out with my swordtail folder design, which if you guys don't know, I am doing a fundraising campaign to try to get that made. It's an integral frame lock. I wanted to have the goal of having the cheapest integral frame lock out there so more people can try the design. But my original plan was for the handle, and if you saw my other video on it, the handle is completely flat. It's a very simple design. Again, that was to keep production costs down. My first idea for that was to have a step-up pattern for grip. So what I wanted was, I wanted CNC machine work done on top of the scale so that it was like a topographical map. So we had like kind of a squiggle, circle, or whatever, and then another one that followed it, another one that followed it. It would create like a really interesting texture. I originally got that idea from an old case toothpick that I had those scales. It had mother of pearl scales that were CNC'd out or cut out in a step-up pattern like a topographical map. I thought it was awesome. So I really want to get that idea on there, but unfortunately it would have made the cost of that knife significantly more, so I ditched the idea in the end. However, looking at all the SHOT Show stuff, I see We Knives came out with a knife with that exact pattern. Does that mean We copied me? Absolutely not. They had no idea I had that idea. Does that mean they copied Case? I have no idea. But in the world of knives, there's just millions and millions of knives. It's almost impossible to come up with something that is actually original. And when you do, everyone copies you anyway. So it's just something that happens. But in this particular case, I do believe 100% Arthur has always been extremely transparent, has no reason to make anything up. So I do believe that as long as he's been around knives, he came up with this idea a very long time ago. It just so happens that other manufacturers have very similar designs. But what they don't have is a cool little Neckmuk style blade. So this has three major things that I love. I do like a Neckmuk style blade. Of course, you guys know I love neck knives in general, so maybe that's four things. I do love the finger grooves on the minimalist, and I do love the little protrusion that is on the outdoor edge LeDuc. So this all came together. It is bigger than a minimalist, all right? It's about the same size as the LeDuc, maybe a hair smaller, but it's a really awesome combination of everything, all right? Blade is swept up, so it's really, really great for slicing. Just fits in the hand amazing. Super comfortable. See the jimping on the back here really facilitates grip with that thumb. It's just been an awesome knife. Carries very well in the sheath, all right? See, it'll snap in. If I hold this ball and chain necklace quietly for a second, you can hear does not move, doesn't rattle or anything, has a nice fit. All right, there's enough edge here, you can use a thumb to pop it out so you don't have to, like, you know, yank it out really hard. It's just been awesome. And actually I have family members that use this. When I'm around family, I'm always wearing neck knives. I wear them everywhere. But just so happens this is one of those knives that they borrowed a lot and they really liked it. They thought, wow, that was really comfortable, asked me about it. Of course I get compliments occasionally, questions occasionally from the public. People aren't used to seeing, you know, knives dangling from other people's necks. Sometimes it scares them, sometimes it makes them curious. I get a lot of looks. But I do get plenty of people who are not threatened by them because they are just tools, and they're quite impressed. And they always ask what they are, where they can get them, how much they are, stuff like that. And like I said, it's really unfortunate because I love this design, but it is going to be a lot harder to find these days. So real quick, this knife did come with a cardboard box originally and this card, and I love this card. I wish every company did this. Let me zoom in for you. Here's all the specs on this knife. Could not be better, right? All the information you're going to need on it. Okay, you see D2 blade, which I don't think I mentioned yet. 2.875 inches on our blade. All right, total length is 6.5 inches, and the handle length is 3.625 inches. You can also see, of course, the millimeter measurements as well. All right, G10 for the handle scale. And coming over to this side, you can see the dimensions on the sheath as well, which is pretty cool. All right, just awesome. So there it is, the Neckmuk. It's model QS125. Again, if you want to do an extensive internet search to try to find this thing, because I know a ton of people would love this, but unfortunately, QSP has an Amazon page. They have a bunch of different models, but they do not have the Neckmuk on there. I'm not quite sure why. Hopefully in the future they will. So maybe favor it, you know, if you're interested in the knife and you want to go back and check for it. But like I said, your best bet at this point is probably, you know, somewhere like Blade Forums in the trade or sale section. Maybe through social media. These days, a ton of people sell, buy, and trade knives through Facebook, you know, and Reddit and all these different pages and stuff. But eBay is a good, solid choice. You know, obviously when you're dealing with buying from strangers, it's nice to go through a place like eBay, so at least you have some assurance that if something goes awry, you know, you have someone to complain to, basically. I've always had success, knock on wood. I've had awesome people I've traded with my entire life, bought things from, sold to, and I've had a really good experience overall. The knife community is like 99% amazing people, but there's always a couple bad apples in the bunch that spoil it for some people. But anyway, long story short, I love this knife. Very comfortable, very usable. The D2 is awesome on this. You know, and it's extra cool that I happen to, you know, eventually form a friendship with Arthur Bream. He is just a super nice guy and a very dedicated knife lover. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. If you guys have been fortunate enough to pick one of these up, let me know down in the comment section what you think of yours. But I absolutely love mine. This is a knife, which, by the way, I'm mentioning this because I know people will be like, oh, now you're done with it. You want to trade that? No, I'm going to hang on to this one for a long time. It means something to me because I'm friends with him now, but it's also just an amazing neck knife. And because it's a little bit hard to find, I don't want to get rid of it because I know it'll be a real pain in the butt to try to get one back in the future. But anyway, speaking of the future, again, you guys will see a video eventually on the Minitech. These have been out for a while. These are super, super cheap. I actually, around Christmas, saw that Cold Steel was selling these for like $10 a pop. I think buy one, get one free or something. So they, you know, for 20 bucks. They have a couple different blade designs. Just awesome. Very cool. Just different. That's all. I love neck knives, as you guys know. I like changing them out. They all have their pros and cons. But, you know, this is definitely one that's going to stay in the Hall of Fame of neck knives. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.